All right, let's just jump right in. You know, when you look up at the night sky, you're really looking at one of the biggest, most mind-bending questions we can possibly ask. In a universe this huge, with so many chances for something to happen, are we really the only ones here? Today, we're diving into that question, into the mystery of the Great Silence. So, to get started, let's just think about our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Forget the rest of the universe for a second. We're talking about 100 billion stars. That's a 1 with 11 zeros after it. And that's a low estimate. 100 billion suns, right here in our cosmic neighborhood. With that many stars and all the planets that must be orbiting them, you'd think the galaxy would be buzzing with activity, right? I mean, statistically, it should be. And yet, when we point our telescopes out there and listen, we get nothing. Just this deep, profound silence. Which brings us to the big question. Where is everybody? Now, this isn't some new age question. It was actually asked famously by the physicist Enrico Fermi all the way back in 1950. The story goes he was just having lunch with some friends, talking about aliens and UFOs, when he just stopped and asked that one simple question that cuts through everything. And that one simple question from lunch gave us what we now call the Fermi Paradox. And it's a paradox for a really good reason. On one hand, you have the math, the sheer probability that says the galaxy should be full of life. But on the other hand, you have the reality. We found zero. Zilch. Not a single credible piece of evidence. So to really feel the weight of this silence, let's first build the case for why we shouldn't be alone. Why do so many scientists look at the universe and expect to find neighbors out there? Well, it pretty much comes down to a kind of cosmic recipe. You could think of it as a checklist of all the ingredients you'd need to cook up a civilization that can communicate across the stars. This is basically what's known as the Drake equation, but let's break it down. You start with all the stars. Then, okay, how many of those have planets? How many of those planets are in what we call the habitable zone? You know, not too hot, not too cold, just right for liquid water. Then you ask, on how many of those does life actually start? And then get smart, and then build technology. Even if you're super pessimistic at each step, the starting number is so ridiculously huge, you should still end up with someone else out there. And here's the kicker. Thanks to new telescopes and missions, we now know that one of those key ingredients, planets in that habitable zone, is incredibly common. We're not talking a handful. The latest estimates say there could be billions of worlds like Earth right here in the Milky Way. Billions of chances for that recipe to come out right. But it's not just about the space. It's about the time. Our galaxy is ancient, over 13 billion years old. That is more than enough time for just one civilization to have gotten a head start on us by, say, 1 million years, and spread across the entire galaxy. Their probes, their signals, their buildings, they'd be everywhere. Impossible to miss. So, that's where we stand. The ingredients are common. There's been plenty of time for something to cook. The galaxy should be a bustling metropolis of civilizations. And yet, when we listen, it's just quiet. So why? Okay, this is where our little investigation takes a turn. Let's start treating this like a mystery. What are the prime suspects responsible for keeping the galaxy so quiet? Our first and maybe most famous suspect is a concept called the Great Filter. The basic idea is that somewhere on the long road from simple life to a star-faring civilization, there is a wall, a barrier that is nearly impossible for life to get past. Think of it like a cosmic obstacle course. Maybe the hardest part is just life getting started in the first place. Or maybe it's the jump from a single cell to complex life that took billions of years here on Earth. Or maybe it's intelligence itself. And this leads to the scariest question of all for us. Is that great filter behind us, meaning we're incredibly rare and special? Or is it still waiting for us up ahead? But what if the problem isn't some natural barrier? What if the filter is intelligence itself? Our next two suspects both point to the idea that the moment a species gets smart enough to reach for the stars, it also gets smart enough to destroy itself. So this basically breaks down into two chilling possibilities. On one side, you have the danger within. This is cosmic suicide. Civilizations blow themselves up with nuclear weapons, they ruin their planet's climate, they just don't make it off their homeworld. Then you have the danger without. This is cosmic homicide. It's the dark forest theory, and it suggests that shouting your location into the cosmos is the last and stupidest mistake a civilization can ever make. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? If the universe is a dark forest, you have no idea who else is out there. Are they friendly or are they a predator? Any sound you make gives away your position to something that might see you as a threat. So in this scenario, the smart civilizations, the ones that survive, are the ones that stay absolutely silent. So where does all of this leave us? After looking at all the possibilities, we don't really end up with a clean, satisfying answer. What we're left with is the sheer, chilling weight of the question itself. Because when you strip it all down, when you get rid of all the complicated theories, the silence of space really only points to one of two stark and honestly equally terrifying conclusions about where we fit in. Possibility number one, we are alone, truly, that in this whole massive galaxy, the unbelievable miracle of self-aware, intelligent life only happened this one time. If that's true, then the responsibility, the meaning of it all, it rests entirely on our shoulders. The second possibility is, in some ways, even scarier. We're not alone. The galaxy is teeming with life, and it's silent for a very, very good reason, a reason we should be worried about. And so that's the question we have to leave you with. When you look up at the stars and you hear that profound silence, are you looking at a vast, empty graveyard that just proves how special and fragile we are? Or are you looking into a dark, crowded forest where the only rule of survival is to never, ever let anyone know you're there?